game as we get into the broadcast. The Saxons carry 4 more players, so it's going to be very key for the Lions to make up for it with skilled possession plays and getting ground ball outs here. As we mentioned already, the winds are shifting, so if they can keep the ball low in the zone, kind of induce ground ball outs and help out the pitcher get out of this day a little bit easier. Key number 2, run support behind Abe Solis, your starting pitcher, which we will take the mound here in just a little bit. And the third key to the game, really want to get production out of your 4, 5, and 6 middle of the lineup. That's Dominic Pendergrass, Jack Yossi, and John Aguilar. So those guys really are going to need to come through with timely hitting, and you don't want to make a lot of mistakes against this Saxons lineup. Pick-off throw, toss to first base. And standing in now is Tyler Molly, who had a great pitching outing against the Saxon team just last week in a victory for the Lions. Steps out of the box. Not a cloud in the sky in Anaheim. A beautiful day, the warmest day of spring so far. Ball smacked foul off to the third base side. 2 balls, 1 strike to Molly. So Gisling readies. Molly steps back into the box. And another throw over to first. Nothing doing. Octavio Valente Black in plenty of time. Pitcher's ready. And the 2-1, another check over to first. Already the third toss over to the first base bag to Josh Gisling. And here's the 2-1. And that's outside and high for ball 3. Nice patience by Tyler Molly. One of the things you've always got to credit about Molly is his identity for picking up pitches, locations, and his discipline at the plate. Not to pull the trigger here, and now possibly facing a walk situation. Another throw over to first, warned by the Lions in the dugout. As we get ready for the 3-1. Check to first and the throw. Smack to left field. Outfielder going back and under now, makes the catch. So Octavio Valente will have to return to first base for today's first out. And now batting for the Westminster Lions, Abel Solis, the pitcher in today's matchup. Talked to Coach Mike Dodd earlier in the game about Solis, and he says he has to get his walks under control to be effective. It was a big reason they lost over a week ago when they had this matchup with the Saxons. Tyler Molly was able to do a much better job of being a more efficient pitcher in their most recent matchup. And as we get the first pitch to Solis, and the runner's on his way, ball thrown out. And easily advancing to third will be Valente, going first to third on that costly error. So now runner on third, 1 out, and no count to Solis, who will step back into the box with a runner in scoring position for the first time today. Coach Dodd was saying how athletic this Loara team is. They like to press, and they will go first to third on every occasion. In fact, I saw a receipt from Groupon, and they're buying them 2 for 1, so they'll look to run on any occasion that they can today. Definitely going to keep the pressure on the Lions. It's something they're going to have to watch for, but early on, it's the Lions putting some pressure on. And here's a hit deep out to left center. It drops. That's going to bring in the runner and the first run of the day on an RBI single by Solis, and Westminster takes an early 1-0 lead here in the top of the first inning. So already getting off to an early start is Westminster. Wasting no time, the pitcher driving in his own run support, and that is always something you like to see in Golden West Conference play. So Dominic Pendergrass is going to see his first pitches of the day. He's batting fourth, wears number 5, and playing first base today for Westminster as the pitch comes in. Called a strike. So 1 hit and 1 error on the board already in just a few minutes of play. Coach Dodd's got to be happy about getting a run on the board early. He talked about how they've been working on practice and not being surprised by the Saxons lineup. And maybe it's the Saxons that should be surprised with the early jump to offense for Westminster. You're listening to the Real Talk Sports Network here in Anaheim, California. Top of the first inning, Westminster at Luara. And here's the delivery. It's swung on, grounded to short. Over the head of the shortstop, and that's going to be another base hit for Westminster. Now runners on first and second. So it's Jack Yossi stepping up to the plate, catching in today's game. Yossi had a pair of hits in last week's victory. Hoping to build on that success today. Already have one RBI from the pitcher. Let's see what the other member of the battery can put up here in the top of the first. Nice job by the Lions getting out to an early lead. Certainly when you have 4 less players on the roster, knowing that there's depth on your opponent's team as the first ball is taken low. Certainly a benefit if you can strike early and not delay trying to get a lead in the ball game. So here we are at the rubber game between these two teams, which have each won once so far in this young season. Here's the 1-0. Inside, fouled off, got jammed, and that one bounces over the home team dugout. Out of play. We'll get a new baseball. With 2 runners on. Here in the top of the first, Yossi's going to step back in. 1-1 is the count. Yossi looking for signs from the third base coach. He's got his information and he's ready to see the next pitch from Josh Gisling. And the lefty throws to first and it pays off. All those check throws over to first and they got him. So take away the runner from first. Lions left with 1 in scoring position. 2 outs now. 1-0 Lions in the top of the first inning. And the winds have shifted again. You can see the flags out in center field, blowing in just slightly, enough to keep steady motion on those flags out there. As the pitch is low and inside for ball 1. Ball 2, that is. And in steps the batter again. For the 2-0 pitch, the lefty delivers, it's inside, and he fools him with a breaking ball. 2 balls and 1 strike. As we get ready for the next pitch, runner on second looking to advance. Taking a good 2-step lead, and the pitcher was about to throw back to second, caught wind. They call the balk, and he's going to advance to third. So now the Lions have a 1-0 lead and a runner in scoring position on third base, just 90 feet away from bringing in a 2-0 lead for the Lions if they can find a way to drive him in. Yossi being patient at the plate. He's got a 2-2 count and a runner on third. Hoping to tack on 1 more run here in this first inning. Here's the delivery. A curveball breaks right over the plate. He rings him up, and that's the end of the inning. A strikeout, but before that, a 1-run lead for the Westminster Lions, who now take an early 1-0 lead here on the Real Talk Sports Network. And welcome back to the Real Talk Sports Network. Danny Hogger with you in the bottom of the first inning on a beautiful spring day in Anaheim, California. The sun is out, and here's the lineup for the home Lions-Saxons. The pitcher, David Gisling, is going to bat first today, followed by Dominic Cruz at second and playing second base. Michael Chavez comes in. He will be alternating in the catching role today, but right now the setup catcher is taking some practice throws. David Sanchez will designate it hit. Dylan Saunders, Ryan Martinez, Delfino Higuera, Jordan Sawyer, and Jacob Mujica round out the lineup for the Saxons. Again, 1-1 is the season score between these two teams. Westminster jumped out to an early 1-0 lead and an RBI hit by their starting pitcher, who's warming up on the mound right now to take his first throws of the evening. Abel Solis, he did well to drive himself in his first run of support. Now he'll hope to hold on to that support as we get into action here. Players taking positions, their final warm-up throws around the diamond, and we're about ready to get going in the bottom of the first inning. Fans, don't forget to visit Real Talk Sports Network online anytime at realtalksn.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at RealTalkSN. And I'm Danny Hogger with you today on this Friday, the 20th of April 2012. Solis bends and releases a first ball that he's thrown today. Leading off again is the pitcher for the Saxons, David Gisling. Bats from the right side. Takes a swing and good piece of contact, but it's caught at second base. What a play by number 24, Matt Alvarez, playing second base out there. A nice play to start out some defensive confidence there. One out early. Gisling thought he had a sure right to that first base bag. Not so. One out in the bottom of the first. Coach Dodd talked all week in practice about how they've been trying to defend against those short ground balls, those line drives, and those bloopers, and try and take those away as much as possible. Looks like Alvarez was paying special attention to that as he laid out for the first out in this bottom of the first inning. Solis ready again. Pitch right down the middle for a strike. It's Dominic Cruz now taking his at-bat. He will occasionally switch hit, but he's going to start out on the right-hand side of the plate. Ball outside. So we have a 2-1 count to Cruz. Cruz is a junior, and he takes a look at that one for strike two. His natural position is second base. 5'9", 155 pounds. And he's going to step in here and try and defend home plate. Solis has been strong at finishing off hitters this season. Breaking ball taken low. 3-2, full count. One out here in the bottom of the first for the Saxons. And here's the delivery from Solis. It's taken to first base, caught and taken by the first baseman for the second out of the inning. Nice job by Pendergrass. Able to easily corral that one and walks it over to first base for the second out of the inning. Just 6 pitches thrown so far by Solis in this first inning as Michael Chavez comes to bat for the first time in this one. He's a senior. He's been catching for this team his whole career here. 6'2", 195 pounds. Lots of power behind this bat, and it's the reason he's third in the lineup. He likes to pull balls to left field. Delivery is low. It's check swing foul up the first base line. No balls, 1 strike. Bottom of the first inning, 1-0 Westminster. As here's Chavez back in again. Umpire calls for a time. Solis retakes the mound. 2 outs. Chavez hoping to extend this inning. The rotation and delivery. A curveball taken for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Solis readies, takes the sign from the catcher. The windup and the pitch. Curveball swung on and missed. Strike two. A big break from Solis on that pitch. Started in the middle of the zone, dropped off the table. It's 1-2, 2 outs in the bottom of the first. Solis, catcher setting up inside. And it is another breaker. Hit to short. Coming in on the ball. Third baseman Fields. Throw to first in time. And that will end the first inning. Unable to amount any offense. No runners left on base. It is 1-0 Westminster. And they will head up to bat in just a minute. You're listening to the Real Talk Sports Network. Back to the action. Top of the second, John Aguilera steps up for the first time in this ballgame for Westminster, and it's been a good year for him. He's been hitting much more consistently, able to get the ball out into the gaps and left and right. And he takes the first pitch for ball one. Early 1-0 lead for the Lions, top of the second from Anaheim, California. Here's the delivery. Quick work from Gisling. Foul ball, skied out. Watch your windshield, everybody. That one's on top of the classroom building where after-school detention is still being held. They were supposed to be out here to watch this game, but they'll be waiting for chemistry class to finish today. As we step back into the box, Aguilera, some 1-1 count. Here's the delivery. Inside, and it hits him on his left shoulder, and he'll take first base. Aguilera runs out to first. Took one right in the shoulder as that ball got away from Gisling. So, base runner again for Westminster, as Frankie Rodriguez is going to step in. Playing third base today is Rodriguez, and getting a little work in at first during practice, fielding ground balls there and taking pitches from the shortstop. Nothing wrong with getting a little work in a position outside your own to back up your already developed skills. Frankie shows bunt, pulls back. And that's going to be a ball pulled back in time. And he'll step in again. We'll see if he looks to bunt or if he will now open up the swing. Thrown over to first. Gislinke was able to pick off a runner at first in the first inning. I thought it was a little excessive. He was going over there 5 or 6 times, but it paid off. And it helped them get Westminster out as he throws again to first. No motion there from Aguilera, as he's not really known as a big base runner, but he's taken 2 full steps off. At least making Gisling think about him over there, getting inside his head, and here's the lefty delivery. It's low. So 2-0 count. Gisling's had a little bit of a trouble trying to locate that strike zone. Ball's falling off the table a little bit here in the early goings. Top of the second, no one out, runner on first. The windup, the pitch, that one's inside as well. And Rodriguez had to step back. That ball ran in on him. So 3-1 is the count. Nobody out here in the top of the second. Here's Gisling looking over to first. Still had his eyes over there. Here's the bunt, and that one's going to roll foul. So we have a 2-2 count. Frankie will step back behind home plate. Let's see another pitch. Spacing out his bunt tries, but with 2 strikes, he'll likely have to take a full swing here. Third base coach reminding him to look out. Doesn't have to pull the trigger here if the ball isn't in the zone. But he's showing bunt, so the resilience of Frankie Rodriguez. And no contact made. Ball taken high. Full count. No one out. Aguilares on first. Gisling taking a long look at his catcher, waiting for Rodriguez to step back into the box. Full count. The windup in the pitch. And it's a breaking ball. Oh, and it's a call. Third strike, and Rodriguez can't believe it. He doesn't like it as he walks back to the dugout, not pleased with that call for the first out here in the top of the second inning. So Rodriguez is sat down on strikes. Here comes Alex Aguilares, playing right field in today's ball game and hitting right-handed. Throw over to first, and his brother is in safely. A chance for one of those rare family RBIs that I hear so much about early in this second inning. One out. No count to Alex. Another throw over to first. So far, Gisling has delivered about 20 pitches over the plate and about 15 additional throws over to first. So he's making the rounds around the bases. As the pitch, that one's right in there. Umpire says no. Calls it high. 1-0 count. Alex steps in. Slight hitch in the swing. Bat motioning back and forth. Ball runs in and outside. 2-0 count. Gisling having trouble throwing strikes here. Dimensions here at Loera. Here's the pitch. It's another ball. This one is called a strike. 315 is your feet count out to left. 375 to dead center. 345 right center. And rounds off to 315 again. Down right. So much shorter walls if you play to the sides. Swing and a miss. And Gisling fooled Aguilares on that one. 2 strikes to Alex. Coach Dodd would sure like to see a hit here. And instead, it will be the second strikeout of the inning by Gisling. He had them all wound up and sits down his second strikeout for the second out of the inning. Now has a chance to strike out the side as Matt Alvarez walks up, and he'll take his instructions from his third base coach. Alvarez, one of the faster runners on the team, known for getting after the balls. The runner takes off from first. There's a throw, not in time. Great base running by Aguilares to put the runner in a scoring position with 2 outs. So here's Alvarez, did a great job there to stand up there at the plate and allow the runner to take second. Didn't offer at the swing, but also didn't make it too easy for the catcher to get up and make that throw over to second. Here's the pitch, curveball fouled off to third base. We'll get a new baseball. 1-1 count. Alvarez playing second base today. Very, very good combination with Frankie Rodriguez turning double plays. It's been a strong suit of this Westminster defense all season long. Alvarez has a great recognition of catch and throw as he drives one past the shortstop. Aguilares is going to be told to stop at third, so a single gives us runners at first and third. with 2 outs, and Gisling is not out of trouble yet. He has 2 strikeouts in the inning, but now sees another threat in scoring position. Westminster has a 1-0 lead. For the first time, Octavio Valente is going to return with runners and a possibility of an RBI. In his first at bat, he hit a single, so chance to go 2 for 2 for Valente, and also add an RBI to his totals for the game. Coach Dodd would surely be pleased with that. Valente's also got a lot of speed out there, so you could also see him try and ground one as that ball is a wild pitch thrown over the head of the catcher. And advancing to second on that pass ball is Matt Alvarez, after the single, is now taking second base. So runners on second and third. 2 outs and a 1-0 count to Valente. So I was saying Valente's got a lot of speed up the first base line, so you might see him try and challenge a third baseman here if he can get a hold of one. Ball taken for a strike. 1-1 count. Gisling trying to work back into this game and strike out the third batter of the inning. It would be nice for him if he could keep the ball out of play, knowing runners on second and third and the speed at the plate from Valente. 2-1 count. The lefty shakes off the catcher's sign. Now he's ready. From the stretch. Fouled off behind home plate. 2-2 count. Gisling challenging batters. He's given up 2 hits in the inning, also has 2 strikeouts. So a chance here to get out of any further trouble. Umpire calls for time. And Valente's ready now. He steps back in. 2-2 count. Pitcher ready. Taking a look over at the runner at third. And he's running. And he'll now go back. So a little bit in advance. Looking to gain a jump on a swing from Valente. A little bit too soon. Returns to his base. So now a little tip of the hat. Saxons know what's going on. First baseman coming in a little bit. Curveball out of the zone. Much too high. Full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs to Valente. Very patient at the plate. And we're going to find out if that patience benefits Westminster. Payoff pitch. Right into the zone, fouled off. Great job by Valente. He saw the pitch, protects home plate. Still 2 strikes. A nice job by Gisling, throwing the breaking ball there just a little bit low, but almost fooled Valente. But he was able to foul tip that one. And so we'll do it again. Valente really challenging Gisling here in this second inning. The pitch. And it's high, so bases loaded. Another walk yielded. Valente's going to take first base for the second time in this ball game. The bases are full with 2 outs. And this is not the guy you want to see up if you are a Saxon. It's Tyler Mawley. Real heart of this hitting lineup. Also an excellent pitcher. He's a multi-tool player. And the Saxons are discussing how exactly they want to address Malley. They can't pitch around him. They got to try and go through him. It's 1-0 Westminster. In the top of the second inning, 2 outs. Bases are loaded. Home plate umpire about headed out to break it up. Catcher and manager return to their respective positions. Critical moment of this early ball game. We thank you for listening to the Real Talk Sports Network. Glad you could be with us to watch this game today. Don't forget to visit realtalksn.com for our latest broadcast schedule. Breaking ball fouled off against the cage. Excellent audio there. Pay for audio like that, tell you what. Great foul off there, 0-1. So for the first time, Gisling working ahead. Definitely don't want to mess around with this batter in the box. Right-hand heavy lineup of Westminster. But they will challenge you with the bases loaded here and 2 outs. Over the plate, taken deep to center. Center fielder's under it. Protects his eyes, throws it back in, makes the catch, and that will end the inning. So the Lions unable to add on. 3 runners left on base. We'll head now to the bottom of the second inning. It's 1-0 Lions on the Real Talk Sports Network. Welcome back to Anaheim. Westminster Lions taking on the Lions-Saxons. And we now start the bottom of the second inning with the score 1-0 Lions. Number 42, David Sanchez, first baseman, 6 foot, 210 pounds. Bat's left-handed, and he's got a lot of pop in the bat. Solis is going to be very aware of that as he approaches this batter. Solis doing a great job of one of the goals for today's game is to reduce walks, get the ball in the strike zone. He is doing that so far. Ball popped up to short. Center fielder coming in. Makes the catch for the first out in the inning. So 1 out here in the bottom of the second. Solis very much under control, as Coach Dodd was hoping he would be. They worked a lot in practice about stamina, and that's certainly going to be an issue in the hottest day of spring so far. Solis on the mound, wearing that black jersey. Can be a very warm color to wear. Absorbs all that sunlight. So Solis working well with it so far. Very focused in on this game and working well with his catcher. Delivery. Did he go around? Official says he did. So an 0-1 count. Solis readies. Wind up in the pitch. Little sidearm delivery. I'm going to say that one's just a bit outside. A 1-1 count. Pitcher's ready. Toss. That one curves way outside. So a 2-1 count. If you're just joining us, it is a 1-0 ball game. Westminster advanced early on Solis's RBI hit. Each team has won one game this year against each other, as that one's fouled off, and we're losing a lot of baseballs to the gymnasium. They're going to be marketing them at the flea market upcoming down in Costa Mesa. So another ball put into play, a 2-2 count. 1 out here in the bottom of the second. Catcher setting up on the outside corner. Fastball. No signal from the umpire, so we have a full count, 3-2. First full count of the game for Solis. We'll see how he handles it. Quick delivery. And that one is very much inside, almost nicks the elbow of Dylan Saunders, so he will take first base. The 6-foot outfielder is 190 pounds, and he's got a little bit of a threat to run now on base. As we mentioned, Loara likes to push the tempo, so with their first base runner today, don't be surprised if you see a little hit and run action put on, especially with the bat of Ryan Martinez, who likes to get balls, line drives through the gaps. Not a big power guy, but very much a hitter for average. Martinez will pitch. He will play the outfields. 5'10", 160 pounds, lefty. Also throws with his left. He's been working on his mechanics this season as he takes the first pitch outside. Good patience shown by the Saxons. 1-0 count, bottom of the second, 1-0 Lions. Here's Martinez. Runner on the move. Here's the throw. Good timing, and they got him at second. So the runner is thrown out. 2 outs now. Great job by Westminster. Excellent throw by Jack Yossi. Really had it timed well. Put it right on the mark. And that made the tag easy. 2 outs. 2-0 count in the bottom of the second inning. Here's the pitch. Second baseman has it. Throws to first. And 3 outs. 3 up. 1 base runner is thrown out at second. No runners left on. And no errors. The Lions hold a 1-0 lead. And we're headed to the third inning. You're listening to the Real Talk Sports Network.